There we go. Now you should be able to hear the music. And I don't know how loud I want it. I'll make it loud. Oh, why am I angry? Fix that. But yeah. Alright. What did I write down? So I still have the thumbnail on the screen. Basically, what I'm going to do today is I am going to walk through anatomy and faces. Draw comps. I'm supposed to be doing shape language, but I'm going to do... I'll draw some faces while I'm waiting for people to pop in. Also, my live panel has stopped working. I don't know what's up with that. Let's see if it works again. There we are. Alright. Might actually look up some facial reference, because I'm kind of fuzzy on how this works. It is mostly fat doing that, I guess. Oh wait, here's a great one actually. Also this explains a lot volume-wise. Can I not grab it? There we are. I'll just bring this in. I'll have a folder for this and just call it references. But essentially this is how I look at the face. I just never saw this bit of skin or fat. I don't know how real that is, actually, because like I know that the actual eye muscle works like this. Like it does a number like that. Oh, it's the glabella. So wait, the eye muscle... Alright, so... The eye muscle is, I had to cough for a second. From what I'm seeing on actual muscle charts, it does this number where it, like, goes in, and it sits underneath this glabella area. And I should actually grab what I'm looking at. This is the anatomy that I'm actually kind of staring at right here. And if you look right here, there's this area above the muscle. And then there's this muscle happening around the eyeball. And inside that is a smaller... Well, I think it's actually all connected. But there's the smaller eyeball muscles. I never noticed this muscled area right here. For the brow. Because I haven't studied enough facial muscles. So that would mean this isn't a fat pad right here entirely. This is like part of the muscle. And why I'm going over this is because it directly correlates to how I draw faces. Especially now, like lately I've been adding that part of the eyeball in. Part of this stream is going to be a study for myself, as well as helping other people. Well, via my stream, anyways. Now that I know how that hole works, it allows me to draw different types of eyes where the skin is sagging much more fluently. I also have a brush setting right here called Specify by Screen on Size, which allows me to go in and get details if I zoom in, which is really nice. I'm not sure that this exists in other programs, but it definitely exists in Clip. Actually, I mean, this chart kind of does exactly what I do. But I will actually, color code this really quick to showcase how I think of the face when I'm, like, emoting it. The laugh line is kind of tied to the cheek. Now I'm going to be adding this upper expressive brow, which I do think I do think about that, but I used to think of it as the eyebrow only. And then we have the upper lid and bottom lid. And the mouth area. And the, well, and the nose. Like, there's two parts of the nose that I think about. Which is the nostrils. Like, these kind of areas that flare upwards when you emote. Like, I should probably actually give this person some nostrils to, like, do that with. Yeah. And whoever joined today, I'm doing anatomy and, like, facial stuff. Basically, if you rewatch the stream or whatnot, and I'll explain a little bit right now. I basically grabbed two references, and I'm learning some different things that I didn't know necessarily about the face. And I'm now drawing out like a little chart of how I think of the facial muscles or facial areas to draw the expressions that I draw. And yeah, this little area right here, like the one that's highlighted on this face right here, I did not think about before. I guess this is an arrow. Like, it was the green part. The green part up here, I did not really understand. It was part of the glabella, which is the, like, keystone of the face. And it's super important for drawing faces. I just didn't know that it was part of the musculature and stuff that made the eye look the way that it did. Like, there's, like, a muscle there, and then this is the bottom part of there, and, like, basically the eyebrow is the keystone. Or, like, sits on the keystone. I always thought that the keystone was below it, and the eyebrow was, like, above it for some reason. And you draw this, and then you draw the eye muscle right here. But, like, this makes much more sense. So, like, this is wrong, this is right. Now back to the expressions, is like, now that I can do this and, like, do the eyes and have an understanding of the muscles and stuff, I can, like, make sagging skin for the eyes with much more believability. But I was gonna do expressions, so let's do one, like, a sneer. I'll make him, like, angry. Make his eye, like, popped out, and he's got, like, his cheek up. But basically, this is all the same stuff I've been thinking about when drawing this kind of facial chart that I made up. Is I think of the upper lid and the lower lid. So like right here, and I'll do that kind of skin sagging thing with his upper lid. And I need to figure out how I want to do that. There we go, and his eyeball. Oh, I did that by accident. So, like, I don't actually think your mouth does this in reality. If I remember, either it does subtly or like, I have a mirror actually. Let me look at a mirror. It's actually a lot of emotion that I notice all the time happens on the bottom lip, which is weird. And I really want him to be flaring his nostril. Maybe I draw the actual, like, nostril first. There we go. I swear, like, I usually do this, like, it goes upwards. I think it's a lip flaring thing. Oh, interesting. Okay. Maybe it from the side it looks like that. Maybe I was right before, but it definitely is kind of weird. I'd have to do more, like, looking into it, but generally what I would do would be that kind of, like, upper lip thing where the top of the lip goes upwards. I think it's cartooning more than anything else, but, like, from the side, like, it looks decent. It looks like that a lot from the side in real life, but not from the front view. Which is interesting. I just used a mirror to look at myself doing something like that. But really, what's going on in this face is, and I can, like, bunch up the eyebrows more if I want to. And, like, lip. I added a little bit of a, like, kind of wrinkle around the, like, bottom lip to chin area. I don't know if that's, like, super realistic, but this is just, these are the small things that I do to make expressions. And generally I use the laugh lines to make older characters. Because, like, I'll draw it right now. I'll draw 2 heads. And am I drawing sideways? I am drawing sideways. Let me fix that. Why do I want to draw sideways for some reason. I'll just draw 2 basic heads without, like, much expression. Just to prove the point. And the second I add laugh lines, they look a little bit older. Or they have a mustache. But yeah. Cheekbones do not do this, necessarily. It's just the laugh lines that age characters. It's kind of interesting. I could even, I'll copy the same character and move him over, just to prove my point. Oh, I cut him. Okay, let me copy. Why is this... what's happening? Is this not the copy button? There we are. But yeah, those laugh lines, and they do show up occasionally when you smile or when you do stuff like this. Like, this is commonly what I use them for, is for smiling, sneering, stuff like that. Because I could take the same face again, and I'll make them smile. I'll just move this one down. And get rid of their mouth. And there's a difference between a fake smile and a real smile, and that's actually these eye muscles down below, like the cheek, the lower cheek area. And the eye muscles kind of raise a little bit in a real smile. At least that's what I've been told when I looked it up. And I would kind of make it cartoony, but... actually, his mouth goes down below, so let's try to keep it... somewhat how the proportions were. He's got like that nose thing, whatever. But there's this, and then if I add the cheek thing, he's grinning a bit more. Make him tired. But yeah, once you understand the facial muscles like this, you can kind of play with these things. Like, for instance, the eyes. I always do this as an example to showcase how much eyes can like change just by the eyes. Not the eyebrows, because the eyebrows are like very obvious changing things. But I mean like how obvious it is when you use upper and lower lids on characters. I'm trying to move these, and then I'm trying to separate them. Man, I am having issues copying and moving things today. Merge layers. Cut. I have a duplicate button that I made, and I'm not using it, and it's so much simpler. And a merge button that I made. But essentially, I should add the eyebrows, whatever. I'll just like add the same angry eyes to the same faces. But I'll just simply add like the upper lid and bottom lid, and you'll see instantly the difference. And how much it actually changes the expression of the face just by doing this. Because you got somebody who's kind of tired angry, or like their eyes are lowered. You got somebody who's like suspiciously looking at somebody. Somebody who's like the bottom lid is like popping upwards a little bit. And then you got somebody who's like kind of twitching with one eye, and the other eye is kind of like that. But they all have different expressions. And then if you layer on top of that the different eye expression, like eyebrows, you get something like this. And then like add the smile, and maybe it's only one side. You get something like this. And like I could add the cheek in on this smile, because it's kind of like currently a fake smile. I'll delete the eye, like the part of the eye, and then add the cheek. And now it's a completely different expression that that wasn't something like I've done this before, but it's a different expression than if you were to just like basically draw angry, and like that's normal. Everybody can do angry or sad in a certain way. I actually like to do sad as angry. The kind of sadness where you close your eyes and you start crying. And you get that sad face. But you can do all kinds of things. I actually got the ability to draw tears from like looking at a Naruto manga panel, because I was like curious how they do tears, because it's such a weird thing, and they basically do this. They do something like this, where the eye has the water line, and then it has like the tear coming down off the face. It's obviously theirs is more subtle and stuff. I just made mine chunky to show it. I should probably leave that on there. I'll just leave it up there. But this is basically how I do faces. And I'll just do this really quickly. I'll color code the facial expression. I should have probably leave that back and have this there. I plan on going through anatomy as well today, because like I wanted a topic to go through for the stream, and I thought it'd be fun to teach today, or at least just have like do something like that. I don't always feel like that, but today I do. Now understanding that this is like a separate eye thing, I'd probably also color this yellow. Like this would be separate, or like different color, not yellow, but because yellow's already used by the mouth. What have I not used? Like a cyan maybe? Or an orange? Orange? Yellow? Orange? Orange? Cyan? I don't know. I'll do cyan. But basically, this is where the brow just sits on this. And then a blue for the cheek, the like laugh line. Yeah. Alright, where's that? And maybe we can get to anatomy after a couple faces. I actually have started drawing heads a different way, where I basically lay out the rough, like, dimensions of the head as, like, a block or something. I'll do it with 2. And then I'll come in and I'll either draw a center line, or I'll just draw where the eyes should be. I tend to draw my eyebrows really close, but that was before I knew about how the glabella functions for the eyebrows. The keystone shape. How did I do? I did a female face this way, okay. Or with the eyes, because it doesn't always sink in. Interesting. I should do a hair study at some point, because I don't really... Like, I'm just inventing hair as I go. And using shapes. Her nose is kind of short. I don't want that. But this is, I mean, this wasn't even the point. Like, the point was, like, I sculpt the head, essentially. It's much more noticeable on a male head, because, like, I give them a sharper jawline. But, like, as you can see her cheekbone right here, like, I kind of, like, just go in and, like, start shaping the head. Not, like, using it as a rough guide. I'm actually stepping away from drawing heads. Not like this necessarily, but, like, super small details like this. Like, I like to draw more like cartoony, bombastic kind of stuff where the eyes are kind of like going kind of crazy. So, like, what I mean by that is I'll just make a big guy and, like, give him like a sneer, or no, I'll make him smile. I give him a mustache. Or, yeah, I'm gonna give him a mustache, big old mustache. This is just Santa Claus. That's what this is. Either that or he's got a humongous chin. Which I could do. I didn't quite do the eyes how I wanted to. I guess now that I know how the eyes work, like I could technically draw any shape for the upper lip, like for the eyeball, and like add this if I want that detail. But there we are, we got a better kind of set eyes that represents how I like to draw. And I'll give him like eyelashes, like little, actually I can get in there now. And show off the setting and the brushes, like it'll get thin, and I can like get in there. And possibly like rework this nose a bit. This nose actually doesn't make sense, per se, width-wise. Like, it should be, like, this wide. But in cartooning, like, I guess I can actually get away with it, however I wish. I only say that because, like, the way that the eye, like, it would sit right here, and it'd cut off the portion of the eye that's out, where I drew it. Now that is one heck of a chin. Let's actually add laugh line indications for, like, the jawline, because, like, he's older. But yeah, this is not actually the cheek though, so I'm gonna actually indicate the cheek. Oh, the music turned off. I gotta go check that. Alright, I think I explained facial expressions in anatomy enough. Or like the way that I think of facial expressions. Because basically what I do is I mix combinations of this together, where I'm having them sneer, I'm having them smile, I'm having them frown. I add the lower lip, the bottom lip, all kinds of things. So like if you look at my characters when I do draw them, there's a lot of nuance into how the face actually looks and expression. And even down to like how they are, I have a little bit of nuance in the way that I draw faces. So like, my main character for my comic idea, she's got like a big mouth. And it's not on accident. Like, I want her to feel like she's just yelling or shouting. I actually sometimes just make her angry. Make her angry. But now that I have the eye trick, I might just do this. I also have been recently giving her a kind of button nose, or a nose that like comes up a bit. Like an upturned nose. And it's kind of like this shape. Because like I also get into like how I design noses to be different. Like there's a million ways to draw noses. So I really dig into that. I don't feel like her eyes are set in the right spot, but like this is the general look of her. And I sometimes give her the bottom lip, although I'm unsure if I want to all the time. Because lips are part of it too. Like I can make masculine characters with lips, which I have. Feminine characters. I can make eyelashes that are like this on a man. It gives them a more like feminine look, but like they can still be masculine. I have characters that are like this with the bottom lid eyelashes that are masculine and stuff like that. it's fun. Like I genuinely enjoy the process of making characters. I just need to like make my story. Cuz like I'm making them for the story now, and I'm rarely just drawing random characters like today or like yesterday. I've been doing it a lot more, but now I need to eventually get to studying composition a lot more. And, like, still pushing shape into my figures, so what I mean by that is, like, I'm doing a lot of this. Like, let's say these are boobs, or whatever. What's going on here is the negative space is what I'm paying attention to. So the silhouette, the outside silhouette of the figure. And like I can do this with muscular characters too. And you can do it with subtle characters too. I just want to like have this like severely pushed in my figures to make them more readable and to like kind of do the cartoony thing that I want to do. So on to anatomy, Because, like, this'll be a while. I'm gonna go over all the anatomy knowledge that I have. Plus, all the anatomy knowledge, plus, like, the... Like, plus using references to show off, showcase, like, how I do what I do and learn. So, I think what we're gonna do is go over the basic skeleton and, like, the bean. I don't use the bean as much, but it does represent something very important to think about when drawing the figure. And that is the spine. Right, so like this would be the pelvis area, and like, or whatever, something like that, and then this would be the rib cage, and it'd have its like thing going on there. But the most important part is the fact that it represents the spine. And really what looking at the figure has taught me is gesture lines. So like I'll do gesture for like a lot of different things, even the legs. And then I'll build the form on top of the gesture. And that's how I think so fluidly a lot of times. That's one of the ways that I think fluidly. And it stops your figures and things from looking stiff. So if you notice me draw a figure, I'll often be doing stuff like this, and then just drawing it straight out. Well, I have a gesture line right in the center of it in mind. And lately I've been like just noodling figures like this with shapes. I can only do that more confidently because I understand that gesture line exists somewhere in the figure, or this overall motion. Like it's the overall flow of the form. I'm gonna like put this off to the side. I'm gonna shrink it down. I'm not gonna delete things. Alright, so back to the ribcage. There is a million ways, or some crazy amount of ways, to draw the ribcage and pelvis. I use boxes, I use shapes, I use all kinds of things. I've tried it all, and I haven't been satisfied until I started pushing with shapes again. But like, on screen right now, I'm drawing like the different methods that I have come up with for myself to like draw these things. And there's a lot of them, and I think I tried like I think these are the main ones I keep coming back to, and like boxes, I forgot, and like the normal box. Yeah, these, and there's also something like the box, which is this. Which is like using these top edges. That was way too big of a brush. But using those top two edges to dictate the perspective of the box, or the shape. But essentially all of these are different methods that I've used in the past to draw figures. And currently I am using shape. And I'll actually small and put that over here. Get that out of the way. Lately I've been doing like what you saw, which was like this. And like for anatomical reasons, this isn't ideal, but like for character and shape, it's perfect. and I'll draw like a line for the arm. I draw outwards lines for the legs, because like I feel like when I draw the legs it feels nicer when they're standing like that. That wasn't really an ideal leg, but like I'm not one-to-one following it exact, essentially. But the reason I do this is, again, for the shape language. It's very distinct shapes, and I use this figure because it's easy, but you can do the same with a skinny figure, a skeletal figure. You just have to know what kind of shape you're getting at. Like, she has, like, this shape to the side of her. And, like, obviously, like, the reason I don't draw, like, super subtle shapes anymore, or, like, I'm trying to avoid it now, is because of this. Like, I can do it. I just choose not to. At least now I am not. And I'll draw that. Like, whatever. Is like, you'll have I made her boob too big. I didn't really draw the ribcage out. Like, I should draw the ribcage out to do this. But essentially, you have a lot of subtle curves. Versus when you're, like, doing this. Where it's, like, very distinct shapes. Because, like, the human body, in reality, will tend to have more subtle curves. Like, even on arms, like, your arms don't do this. They actually do a lot of this. Where it's like a subtle change. So that's why I tend to avoid drawing that way, because like I want the drastic silhouettes, and it all depends on what you're trying to do stylistically or what you're trying to emphasize in a drawing. And this is beyond anatomy. This is just stylistic choice of what I do. Back to anatomy. Wait, why is this? Oh, it isn't. Okay. The rib cage and the pelvis. So like, I draw it cartoony. I'm just for the sole purpose of this video, this live stream, I'm gonna showcase it as a box and a egg. And this is all you need to represent the skeleton. For the most part, is a box and an egg. And like sometimes the collarbones. I'm actually going to copy that, and we're going to start with anatomy. I'm actually going to draw one arm bone. Because all the, and maybe a leg bone. Maybe a leg bone to showcase this as I go. And I'm going to lower the opacity. Or not, but like lighten up the drawing. So I can draw on top of it. Alright, so we're going to pull some anatomy reference. And we're going to start with the pecs. Actually, this is perfect. It's not really an image, though. It's a video. I mean, I essentially learned it from Proco. And there's, This is okay. I don't really like how that's drawn, though. I will just use the Proco one that I see of their Skelly. I need a new thing for anatomy. And we'll just do this. Right. But basically, what I see in the packs comes from Proco. It connects on the arm, like this. Like there's a connection right here. And maybe I can lower the opacity of that. And basically what ends up happening is it kind of goldfishes. Like it literally just turns into a goldfish because like the muscles are connecting this way, like an overlapping type thing. And you don't see it because the deltoid is covering it, usually. And maybe I could, like, lower the brightness, that way it's visible. So they actually connect to the arm bone. And the, if you notice, it connects to the arm bone and it connects right here to the collarbone. That's why I said the collarbones are kind of important. Unless you're winging the muscles, like, just randomly drawing them like I do sometimes. But essentially, it does this, where it, like... does this number? And I'm not sure if I want to keep layering muscles on this or not, but... like, once you know... I'll do this on the micro scale. Because, like, basically all I do when I draw is I'm playing with the same concepts that I know. So, like, I might not draw the arm to, like, draw it. I'll do this, because I know the shape, roughly. And it's covered by muscle. But basically, after you know a concept, I would advise to, and this is just my advice, to play with it. Because it gets stuck in your mind. And in fact, like, this is how I, like, studied anatomy and all the things that I do know for this kind of stuff, is I color-coded and labeled everything. So, like, I didn't label all these 3 pec muscles, I just labeled it as pecs together, so it's just all pecs. But what I did do is I labeled all the different muscles. And what that does, like, drawing it out gets it into your memory once. Labeling it gets it into your memory a second time. After that, like, color coding it labels it, gets in your memory another time, so that's 3 times already that you have it in your memory. I'm holding my hands right now. And the 4th time would be when you play with it. No, actually, the 4th time, like, it depends on what you're doing. So, like, with arms, for instance, even just drawing cylinders, what I did was, like, I drew out all the arm muscles, like, blah, 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 and they're very flat, and they're not drawn out. Then I would try to pose them in different angles. And then after I did that, I would start playing with it. Where I'm just drawing the wackiest kind of arms ever. And they're like, and they work. And that's like 5 different ways to get it into your memory. So you don't forget it. And then I started doing anatomy charts over and over and over again. But yeah, that's basically how I did it. And I'm going to draw the abs. So like the abs connect down here. I actually should look at the abs right now. Again, this is part of this is helping me re-look at anatomy right now as well. Um, because I don't know insertions all the way. Like I don't know where the abs connect other than like the bottom of the um pelvis. Like for all I know, they connect to the side of the pelvis as well. Uh, let's see if we can't find a good chart or something. No, they just show that like they show that they connect to the pelvis, but it's it's interesting. Like they have kind of like I don't know if they're not called tendons. Like it has this kind of like maybe it is tendons, but these kind of like fibers or things that connect on the side of it that are white generally in the anatomy pictures. But I basically don't think of that. I just connect them like this. And I'll like draw them. I should draw them more asymmetrical because abs are actually asymmetrical generally. And there is technically like a extra set of abs down below near your like lower belly to crotch area, but they're never well defined because nobody like exercises that area enough. Or like it's very hard to do that. But I'm just gonna keep layering muscle on muscle and just going over it. Kind of boring, but it's it's what all I'm doing right now. I'm not gonna go over the arm muscle, so I'll do that separately in a different one. Like not like I'll do it in this video probably or this stream because I feel like I'm gonna do this for a while. But for right now, I'm just gonna like make an arm thing to represent the arm because I believe that the lats the lats connect to the back of the torso and the front, or not the front. They connect to the arm, like under the armpit and the side of the rib cage. That's what I was getting at. And I'll actually show the back muscles as well. So like the lat that I was talking about is this kind of muscle. And I'm just explaining it to explain it. Like, if you know it, that's good. Um, but the lats are essentially right here. And there's like, obviously there's two sides of the lats. I just drew one. I'll draw the second one here as well. And I need to color code the lat. I'll make it yellow. There's a lot of other underlying muscles that show up on the back that I just don't draw. Like there's like muscles that like shoot up from the spine that like go underneath the lats and like do this. But I just don't bother drawing them because they're not really hugely visible unless you're doing really realistic figures. And I haven't gotten to the need to want to do the nuanced stuff of that. Another thing that I saw TB Choi doing with the lats, or not the lats, the serratus muscles that are right next to the lats right here, is she fans them out like this and then connects them. And I thought that was like the coolest thing. So she basically does this. And she has them connect. And I was like, what? That's crazy. It's so deceptively simple. And I think that's the point, is it's like perfect for doing that. The things you learn just by watching people. But basically, these are the different muscles. Like, this is the oblique, and it sits underneath the serratus muscles. And I'll actually label these really quick after I'm... Well, yeah, I'll just label these really quick. I'll get one more muscle that I'm missing, which is the deltoid. And maybe the neck muscles. Like the vague neck muscles. Because I don't go into the nitty-gritty of the small muscles, really, except for, like, maybe this little pit right here. And I'll color this, cyan. Yeah. And then I'll recolor that. Or redraw that. And I'll just merge these. There's one more thing I'm gonna color, which is the neck muscles. And in fact, I'm gonna draw the back again. So, like, I'll actually delete some of these, like, because they're in the way. But basically, this pink muscle right here is a huge back muscle. And these are the two muscles right here. This is the deltoid that connects underneath of it. And then there's the actual trapezius. And I just call them, like, label... Now, like, lately, I've been just labeling them traps. So you got traps, you got lats, you got all these other things, and they're easier names to memorize. I did learn all the names. So you got the deltoid. There's even the sartorius muscle, which is on the leg. There's, like, all these different things. This neck muscle right here that's yellow is called the sternocleidomastoid. Which, I don't... There's no real short way of making that. Like, it's SM or whatever, I don't know. But, yeah. So, we got the abs. I might not label these because I've done it before, but I would advise, if you're studying, do this color-coded chart and then label it. And then, like, it'll help get it in your mind. And then once you're done that, you can start, like, playing with the anatomy a lot. Where you can do things like this. Well, that arm isn't that great, but... If you want a cartoon. I mean, like, the thing is, like, obviously if you're doing more realistic stuff, go ahead and do your realistic stuff. Like I said, we're gonna go over all the anatomy that I know today, I think. Or I'm gonna try to. I was so against sharing it for so long because I believe it's secondhand knowledge. But at the same point, like, if you feel like this is a good starting off point and, like, get a lot out of this, I feel like I did something good. And maybe after this, then you could, like, go and study some more. Because, like, you never stop learning anatomy, I don't think, now that I've looked at it. Like, I'm learning, like, little minute things that have... Like how I did with the faces earlier in this stream. I understand, like, the subtlety of the facial muscles and, like, stuff like that. Like, I learned about the glabella that I didn't know about, which is, this kind of cyan color right here. Like, I didn't know that the eyebrows sat on it. Like, the eyebrows were the glabella. I always thought the eyebrows sat on top of the trapezoid shape. Because I didn't look at that as the same shape. So my eyes always looked kind of wonky. Either that or I never drew it. So, we did torso muscles. I'll move these to a separate layer. And we'll draw some more. Oh, did I merge that? No, I didn't. I didn't merge that. I'm gonna, like, keep this here. I didn't get the glutes. I didn't get the butt muscles, which also come in a set of 3. I'll draw that really quickly, because everybody likes the butt. But basically on the skeleton, like, I didn't draw the leg in the right place, like, I was just gonna draw a tube. The skeleton, like, the pelvis has, like, a bone that protrudes, that comes off of it. And it's called the greater trochanter. And all the side muscles of the leg kind of connect to it. To the side. But as far as I know, the butt muscles are like this. There's, like... I think there's an extra... I need to look it up. You know what? Let's look it up. Let's look it up. As much as I'm, like, sharing my information on anatomy, I'm also sharing, like, I'm also learning as I go as well. Like, any small things that I might have missed. And I don't see 3 muscles. I thought there was 3 butt muscles. Maybe there's only 2. Maybe the glutes are, like, separated into 3 because they're, like, the gluteus maximus is just big, I don't know. But, like, there's 2 that I know of, which is the gluteus medius and the gluteus maximus. And, this is it. It's not that complex. I've seen it represent... Oh my gosh, that is a bright red. Oh my god. Why is this not... Do I have the wrong layer above it? What? I guess I didn't move it. There we are. But yeah, basically the butt muscles connect to the side. Like on the pelvis right here. It's like they're not too complex to understand. And the leg muscles, we'll get a little bit into the back of the leg because like it's easier. They do this number where there's like these kind of side tendon things that grab onto the muscles, and the muscles actually split into like two on each side. And, like this would be the tendon. I don't know like I didn't draw the angle that they should be at necessarily. I was just drawing it. But like this is the general gist of the back of the leg. And we can get into leg muscles or arm muscles next. I think I might do legs because I'm not super knowledgeable on leg muscles. But this is how they look side by side. And generally we have fat and like skin and stuff on our legs and whatnot. Like you won't, even the torso, like you won't see a lot of this, but like once you learn anatomy, it gets easier to do things like this. Where you're just indicating the muscle. And you're not like drawing the whole muscle out. But yeah. Because like there's skin on it, and it depends on how much you want to like have that. It's like sometimes I've seen artists that draw like the muscles like super like cut, and it still works. But yeah. So leg muscles, let's get some reference. Oh, that's perfect reference right there. Can't read that though. Oh, it's in Russian. Let's see if we can't find like an easier to read one. That's in like cursive, but it is easier to read. I'm gonna pull this one. And I'll see the Proco one. What is that muscle? Oh, he just draws the forearms. But this is how I learned anatomy. Is I literally just kept grabbing references and started drawing it. I'll shrink that down, and then we'll draw legs. What is this? Oh, this is all part of the anatomy stuff. All right. So like, this is gonna be. Oh, the music stopped again. Let me turn the music back on. But yeah, this is what I know about legs from drawing them, and I looked at like a 3D sculpture because I couldn't find good reference. I didn't use Pinterest at the time heavily, so I didn't really think about that. But like basically all I have is this, which is similar. I kind of bloat the muscles up, I feel. Like, I used to draw this muscle. I don't anymore, or I haven't been. Maybe I should be. But this is basically what I did for the leg. What I'm seeing isn't too far. It's just the connections are kind of like... there. Even on the Proco one right here. And there's not much to color code and label on the legs for me. Like I could copy this one. But like connections are like really what I'm like thinking about. And there's more space than I left it. Like I wasn't leaving space for that, so it's like a little butt right there. Because I saw it in the sculpture like that. And I saw it on a human figure like that when it was really muscular. Yeah, it looks like the bottom one, like the inside, connects like this. This is also something I noticed about the rhythms of like the torso, like the limbs. If you look at the leg, it follows this pattern where it does this, and then the opposite for the ankle. And arms do something similar. I didn't really draw that leg really good. Let me draw out the form first. I really just want to draw it like a tricep. Because it's kind of what it is, almost. It doesn't help that I don't have a pelvis that this is connecting to. But I color the quads the same. I probably should do it differently. But I still just consider, because like sometimes on non-muscular legs, you don't have really well-defined quads. That's not what I wanted to do. There we are. Does that connect? It just connects on the side, so like, I'm already seeing something in this drawing that I didn't draw, which is this muscle. Does something like this. Like it literally just kind of like connects. Like cups this muscle. At least that's what I see on the drawing. I also didn't draw the knee long enough, I don't think. Yeah, I didn't. It's down here. It'd be like down here. Or the leg isn't long enough, one or the other. I think the leg's not long enough. But this just shows that I don't know leg anatomy as good. I vaguely know it. And I'm not confident, so my lines are getting shaky. Um, yeah, I'm gonna delete this. This was my, well, I'll keep it, but I'll shrink it. This is my old knowledge. This is what I used to draw. Let's try drawing the pelvis and drawing a set of legs. Draw the actual thing out, Moose. Not easy to get used to. Let's see if I can't do this, like, winging it now. Kind of, like, I'm worried about this muscle. Well, I forgot, from certain angles, you can't see the inside of the thigh. Like that. And that is something that I did notice when I was looking at different anatomy sketches or different things. It's like you literally just cannot see the inside of the thigh at certain angles. Like, let me pull another anatomy reference out. Like, I saw this just now, and like, if you look at the inside right here, from this angle, like this box or whatever, you can't see the inside of the thigh at all, really. But yeah, like I'm not sure how much more leg anatomy I'm gonna study. Like I feel like I've gotten the gist of the legs more than I previously did, and I probably would actually draw the kneecap now. Because, like, I feel like distance-wise for the muscles and how they connect, it probably is the safest bet. I probably represent a circle for the kneecap and then do this. That way I can just get it laid in really quickly. And now is the moment where you start playing with shapes and stuff, or playing with the anatomy to make different things that you might not have done. Like that's what I use this part for. So I might like do weird legs like this. I don't know that I'll be able to be subtle about leg anatomy though. That's my biggest issue or gripe. Like I gotta learn to feel that out. I think I need to look at an actual person's leg to like see it. Yeah, see like this guy has like perfect legs for this to like look at. And it's because like oh wait, did I draw that? I drew that on a separate layer. Where is this? Oh, I did draw this all here. Okay. I'm gonna delete some of these legs. Get them out of the way so I can draw more anatomy. But basically, if you look at his legs, like, the quads are there, but they're not, like, super defined on the top. Like, he barely even has, like, this doesn't... This just goes in. Like, it doesn't even... Well, it kind of goes out. But it's kind of like this. Like, it doesn't bulge out like the leg would. And, like, the only part that's visible of the middle quad is just this top indication right here. And then, like, the other quads just have no, like, defined muscle. Like, this is it. This is all they have for, like, their actual, like, musculature. So this is what I mean by playing with it, and also look at real life, is, like... There's certain things you notice, like this, where, like, there's like, literally no huge defined muscles on this guy. Because they're not, like, super low body fat percentage. So, like, this is as much as I need to do to represent the leg. Like that. So then I'm getting into, like, the territory of, like, drawing... drawing less to draw more, I guess? Oh, yeah, I just wouldn't draw anything on this, like unless they're, like, super rated out or whatever. Also, I drew that kind of bubbly. Not what I wanted to do. But I'll look at some more people's legs just to get a better idea. But as far as I can tell from these kind of people's legs, like, if you're not super muscular, you'll have a lot of fat or skin on your legs. And, like, there's really no, like, indication of the quads except for, like, these little hairlines at the top. And I'm more after, like, that natural looking, like, I'm not after, like, somebody who's got, like, 10% body fat, who's, like, not the average necessarily. Personally, I'm not after that. But if you want that, like, mixing the anatomy knowledge uh plus the subtlety allows you to get that anyways, if you wanted it. But now that I have the knowledge, I can draw legs like this with, like, very, very little challenge. Although this leg doesn't, I don't know what to do with the second leg. I didn't pose this per se. Leg is shorter than the other, but yeah. I kind of want to just redraw this leg now, because I didn't pose it at all. Well, we did leg muscles. I think I'm gonna go get some water, and I'll be right back, and then we'll do arms. Although I will organize this a bit really quick before I go. This guy gets shrunk and placed with the other anatomy references. And I'll leave you with this on the screen. And I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be right back. Alright, back to the anatomy. Oh, I missed one. Trying to keep it all together, move it up and stuff. So we have room for the arms. I did actually do an arm anatomy study a long time ago, but I can do a refresher. Or we could play... Actually, before we get the arms... I'll just do arms really quick. Let me just get the chart for the names, and I'll just draw it out. I don't know all the places where the arms go, or the legs, per se. Like, I didn't label those when I did them. But I know this is sartorius, this is the quads, this is the inner thigh muscle. I don't know what those are. This is the glute. With arms, it's similar, except I know the top muscles. So we have the bicep and the tricep. I'll draw the back view. There is actually an angle that the tricep and bicep go at, and I believe it's the same angle that I said that the legs have. So like this inner part is actually lower. This higher part is the outside part is higher. But barring the like lower arm, we're not going to discuss that yet. The main muscles of the upper arm are really just like 3 to 4 muscles. And I drew that deltoid really weird. Like that deltoid is messed up. Jank ass deltoid. It's going away. Going bye-bye. Can I do that right? I don't even... I might have to... Like, this is why I always draw the... I always draw the shoulder blade, because, like, it connects under the shoulder blade, the deltoid. Alright, back to coloring this thing. Basically I treat... Like, this is why I said the quads look like a tricep. Because from the back, they do similar things. And then all you have left is the bicep brachii that goes between the biceps and the triceps. And the bicep. And that's pretty much... Those are all the arm muscles in the upper part, which everybody generally knows. I'll get to the lower part after I have, like, a little bit of a fun session of just drawing. Because this is, like... you don't really need to know a whole slew of anatomy to be drawing anatomy. Like, you really need to be knowing the bones and, like, the major muscles. But if you really want to know how I approach the arm muscles now, which is a lot easier, is the Proco shape was a bullet, he explained. And what you realize with, not the bullet necessarily, I don't really use this. What you realize with arms is all the arm muscles for the forearm shoot out from one area. They shoot out from like around this point and then go down. And that's generally what I've been doing for the arm muscles because I actually took the time to learn them, but I don't really draw them that accurately all the time because I'm being subtle, or I'm not really worried about that. And I think I'm probably going to continue that way, maybe. I don't know, it depends on if I really want to get into subtle arm muscles or not. I can even pull up the actual thing that I did a long time ago, and I'll put it in the actual stream. Let me just grab it. There it is. Because this is basically what I was doing when I was drawing this a long time ago, is I was studying the under part of the bicep and the forearm muscles, and you can see I labeled it all out. Like, this is how I study. But mainly what you see here is this kind of shape. If I can draw over top of it properly, what's going on? 20. Is it not the right color, maybe? Weird. I'll make it bigger. No, it's just too bright. Okay, well, either way, you see this kind of shape right here, and you see this shape. I can't seem to get a good color for this. But they all connect in this kind of like this. And it creates the bullet shape, which Proco was talking about. And all the arm muscles shoot out from the bullet, essentially. And that's one of the reasons I didn't want to go over the arm muscles as much right now. But having all this anatomy in mind that I've been talking about allows you to start drawing figures with anatomy in mind. And then it becomes much more about drawing the individual, like, mannequin. And, like, posing the mannequin and stuff like that. Because if you can draw this, then you can, like, add anatomy on top of it. Not a pretty drawing, but, like, you gets the idea across. And it allows you to, like, do all kinds of things. Like, for instance, I like playing with shapes a lot, so, like, I could do something like this. And still make it work anatomically. And in fact, there's something I noticed that I want to do with arms now, in my old study, which is the equorneus muscle, which is like this. And then just shoot out the muscles from there. Although I didn't look at the elbow. Okay, the elbow just sits behind it. Okay. So it just, like, connects like that, and the elbow just boop. That's actually not that bad. So, like, I'll actually draw a better arm to test that. So, like, I do this, This goes here. This goes here. I mean, the only difference is I wasn't drawing this part, which I haven't looked at a real... Actually, it probably would do that. Okay. Well... But I mean, that's pretty much it for anatomy. So, oh, I came back with the with the BRB screen on there. Oh well, I'm back with my moves. But that's pretty much facial expressions and anatomy in a nutshell. The way that I like do it, and then the hard part becomes like actually drawing the full figure. And like how you want to do that. And I have certain methods I do for that. Like I said, I use a lot of shape. But not only do I use shape, what I'll do for the legs is I'll do this kind of outwards thing where the lines go out. They actually go out. Because I'm going to actually draw them more straight anyways. Or I draw arms with lines too now. And the reasoning for it is so I can, like, if I need to, I can, like, overlap the arms. And, like, do different kinds of expressions faster. And I used to want to, like, draw tubes. And I used to want to draw, like, the cylinder and draw these arms out and stuff. And, like, it is something I have in my back pocket. But I found that drawing lines is flexible enough that it allows you to do a lot. And you can build the form on top of it. So when did I start? I started at 10, 11, 12. I got like 1 more hour. Or I might stay on longer. It depends on how I'm feeling. But I really got to figure out what to draw or talk about, or I might just start doodling. But I hope it's been at least informative to whoever's been watching me. I actually thought about making a whole series of videos on this, to be honest, like anatomy, and like my thoughts on how to study it, but I just thought it would be better in a stream for right now. You don't delete? I wanted to delete that so bad. Alright. No, no, moose, bad. The head goes in front. I like this shape. I do not like what I did with that line, though. So I'm gonna keep it. There we go. And then we got her, like, little tail. I actually have a whole art book that I've been making and I've been planning on putting out, and I haven't put it out yet. I think I'm just gonna put it on Gumroad for people to buy for like $10. That literally goes over my entire thoughts on drawing. And like, it goes from like step by step, where it goes from the basics of like drawing like spheres, tracing, to boxes, to perspective, to composition, to different methods of drawing the figure. Not necessarily teaching anatomy, but telling you how I learned anatomy, which is what I did here. It goes through shape, like negative space. It goes through a lot of different concepts, and I just haven't put it out yet. And I have 20 pages done of it so far. I don't know if I should make a video for it, though, like an advertisement video. It'd be funny, but like it's just $10. Like, I don't know. I personally don't want to, like, I don't want to skimp on value, and I wouldn't sell somebody something that I wouldn't buy. And I feel like I've made something that I would buy, because it's basically what I wished I had when I was learning art. With less of the fluff. Like, I tried to cut... Like, I didn't want it to be a lecture when you read it. I tried to cut that out and make it so it's just pure reading the information. Let me actually open it in my browser really quick. I'm not going to show it, but I have a early version that I made. This one. That way I can read it. Yeah, it basically says it's not gospel, you only have two hands, blah blah blah, don't fear your tools, style, line control, shapes, bodies, forms, plane changes. Like, it basically goes over all these different topics, and it's organized. And I'm really happy about it. I might make a video for it. I might make like a little animated guy video, and he's just like talking. He's like, here's this book. It's available here. Oh my gosh! Ah! And it just sounds like my kind of humor of what I would do. Yeah. Okay. I'm just drawing now. I was painting the other day Let me find that. Yeah, I was painting this stuff the other day and trying to, like, mess with color or figure out if I wanted to paint at all. There's a lot of stuff like that. And figuring out faces and how I want to draw. And this is what I mean by shape language, which I need to push more into my figure, is stuff like this, where, like, the pecs protrude, and it's, like, a very clearly defined shape. This hip, the hips, and the hip jutting out and stuff like that, like this kind of stuff. Like, really, really getting into the meat and potatoes of drawing figures that way. Because I feel like I want that in my style. Like, this is cool, but it's not pushed enough. It should be like this. Like, if she's like chubby and small or whatever, she should be like this. Like, exaggerated. And I need to push it more. And it's purely for the silhouette. It's purely for the plot. It's for the plot. Ah. Like, I want an art style that pushes shape, like, dramatically first. And hopefully, when I actually get started, like, doing compositions, I can draw my characters in different compositions to get ready to eventually draw the comic. That way I can, like, showcase them doing things. Probably wouldn't have this coming off here. I'd probably, like, do it under her boob. That way we have, like, that round shape still while retaining that. But, like, I still want it to push out. I don't know. Maybe straight. But yeah. Let's draw that leg. Ah! I just want an excuse to draw legs. Now that I know more anatomy, I want to, like, lock it in my brain. Who is he? The world may never know. He's got a big-ass neck. But yeah, serious mode Moose is taking a break because I did a lot of anatomy teaching today. Or like talking. Talking. So much talking. Ah! Give him like, yeah. I don't know why he is this way, but it makes me smile. Maybe he's got like a loincloth type thing going on. And glorious hair. Man. This is what I mean by have fun with what you learned, and I have that in my book too. Is at some point, to get it ingrained in your memory, you can have fun with all these new tools at your disposal and start playing with them. Mm. Mm. I kind of want to just draw more of this guy. Like, just keep doodling on him. But I don't really have anything else to do with him. Like, maybe detail him out more for some reason. Wait, what's going on with his eye? Oh, his second eye isn't it drawn? Or, no, it is drawn. It's right here. Okay. Alright, I gotta go for a second. I'll be right back. I have returned. This music is boring me. We must switch it up. Maybe I'll put a different thing on. Oh, I enjoy this music though. It's chill. Part of me wants to be really lazy and ridiculous with this and color it, but I don't know. I'm just gonna do it. That's all I'm doing. And then I'll probably end the stream after this. Or, well, I could keep it going, but I don't know what to do, really. And I'm not, like, I feel like I need to take a break after a marathon of teaching anatomy. But remember that this gets saved as a VOD, so you could always rewatch this if you wanted a refresher of how to learn anatomy from me. Or at least what I did. This is so dumb. Yeah, I shouldn't color him. Well, I'll leave it colored, but what I'll do is I'll knock the saturation down. So it's mostly gray. What that is essentially going to do is make it so it's less jarring to see the colors that switch and stuff. I don't know. There he is, muscle guy. I'll put him on screen for you, beautiful people. Thank you for coming to my stream. I'm gonna end it a little bit early. It's an hour early. Maybe I'll do another one later today. Most likely I won't because I don't end up doing that. If I do, it'll be on Twitch. Because like I planned on making my separate streams at night or whatever on Twitch. Morning streams are on YouTube. So, yeah. Thank you for coming to my stream. Hopefully you learned something. Have a good day.